Michelle, thank you so much for the partnership, by the way. You are absolutely amazing. But I would love for you to go back in time and think about what was the problem that you were struggling with that made you realize like you needed help? Like, what were you struggling with, and what was the challenges you were experiencing?
I think what I was struggling with was feeling like my business was kind of at a plateau. Kind of, I always work with people who are stuck, and I was feeling a little bit stuck myself. And so I was kind of looking for a me for me. Somebody who could help me kind of take a look at where I was at the moment, where I might want to go next, and how I could make a plan to get there. And also looking for the accountability of having somebody to come back and continue that conversation with, because it's really easy to get distracted by the next project or the next thing that needs to get done, and then that core work doesn't get finished. So that's what I was really hoping for.
So, did you look for other solutions? Like, what kinds of things did you use to try to solve that problem?
Oh, I do a lot of research online. I read a lot of things. I really enjoy doing that kind of thing. Listen to a bunch of podcasts. But one of the things that I know about myself very well is that I'm a verbal processor. And so it's really important to me to have that one-on-one connection with somebody so that I can talk things through with them and get their ideas kind of and move from direction to direction, rather than necessarily having to like follow the path of a preset book or something that somebody has kind of laid out for you that maybe doesn't go in the direction that I want to. I'm a rule breaker. I just like to go in my own way no matter what. But I really also needed that verbal processing time. I needed to have another person to go back and forth with.
So it sounds like you did a lot of reading, a lot of research, and then coming to the standpoint of saying, all right, cookie cutter solutions isn't going to be for me. I need to figure out something or another. So how did you what got you to me? How did you find me?
Actually, in the process of doing some of my research online, a couple of things about you popped up in that research. And so I followed it to your website and looked at that, thought your website was wonderful, loved the content that you had on there. I kind of just dug around and listened to a few of the things that you had done and signed up for your email list. And then in the process of kind of, looking at some of those things and listening to what you were doing, I thought, this seems like it could be a good path for me.
So thank you. Do you have any insight? Do you remember back in time like what you actually looked up when you were?
I think I was actually looking up like a consultant for a consultant. Do you know what I mean? Like I was looking for somebody who consulted on consulting. And I don't know if you've tried Googling that, but you don't find a lot.
That's interesting.
I mean, like oh, I shouldn't say you don't find a lot. There's always a ton that comes up on Google, but it's not really necessarily what you're looking for. And so yeah, so it was a process of kind of just digging around looking for things. And I think there were two or three terms actually that I looked up that kind of brought me to you. But a lot of it was around that idea of kind of building on your consulting practice.
So in light of the experience that we've had together, so we've been working together now for several months, what would you say the biggest breakthroughs or the outcomes of the results that you got as a result of working together?
I think one of the things that was really helpful was in going through the process with you. One of the things that was great was figuring out where I felt like I had a really good handle on what I was doing and why I was doing it and how I was doing it, and where I felt like, oh, there's like a hole there. Like it felt like there were certain areas that I could easily identify that I didn't necessarily have as much of a grip on as I thought, or that things that I had kind of worked out in my mind that I thought I was doing very well at, I really wasn't. And so that was really helpful. And then being able to kind of fine tune those things with you and actually dig deeper on the ones where I identified that, yes, that is a problem, or that is somewhere where I want to get better. So can we go that direction? And, again, that's one of the biggest benefits of working with somebody one-on-one, is being able to kind of adjust and figure out where to go next.
So have you changed in any substantial way, would you say, as a person or as a professional or business owner?
I think that I feel a lot more confident in my ability to pursue things that I didn't think I did before. So, like, for example, I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I still, in all that time, it's not really imposter syndrome, but it's more like that idea of, I don't know who's going to care what I have to say. There's a million people out there talking about things. So why is anything that I say going to be important to anyone? And so I think that you've really helped me kind of get past that idea to the fact that, yes, there is a lot of good in my background and in my experience that I can share with people that they will find valuable and useful. And also in looking at the fact that I know that that might be a small market of people, or who knows, it could be huge. But the reality is, in my life, it doesn't matter to me if it's a small number of people or a huge number of people. I want to be able to help people move forward. And so if there are ways that I can tweak what I'm doing, or I can do more in terms of content or in connecting with people that are going to help them do better, then that's what I want to do.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
It's fun.
So you've worked with a lot of different people over the years. What would you say that I offer that makes us unique, stand out, distinct in any way?
I think that you have a really good combination of good, strong content, and then your ability to walk people through that content and help them find the parts that are going to be the most helpful to them, that are going to be able to take themselves from good to great. Because I think that a lot of people have one or the other. Like I've met some people who have really good content, but then they don't have any way of being able to kind of work with you on it. And there are other people who are really good coaches, but they don't really have the content to back it up. And so either way, you kind of feel like you're missing one of the elements. And I feel like that's an area where you have both of those elements, and it makes a huge difference.
So thank you for saying that. You were saying nice things about my content before I cut you off. About the course, could you go back and tell me what you were saying about my content?
Yeah, no, I think that your content is really good. I mean, it's very apparent that you've worked really hard to create good content, and that you've designed it in a way that makes it easy for people to understand and absorb. And even the different iterations of some of the things that I've seen that you've shown me of different worksheets and different things, you're continually improving them, and adding on to the things that you're doing, which I think shows that not only are you a lifelong learner, but also that you want to continue to provide the best information to your clients. And so I think that that is part of what's been really helpful to me too, is to kind of see how those things are even adjusting as you go. But I think in general, your content is great. It's from kind of different aspects. Like the core of it itself, in terms of helping you move things forward, is really good, but it's also designed really well. I mean, like even graphically, it's just designed really well. It's appealing, it's interesting, it's not overwhelming. And I think that that's also a big benefit, because a lot of the people that you work with are obviously extremely busy people, and we all get distracted very quickly by the other things that seem more important than working on our own stuff. And the way your content is designed, it kind of helps you work through it in pieces rather than feeling like you're just overwhelmed with what has to be done.
That's great. That's awesome feedback. I'm so, especially coming from you who's a creative, to say that the content is, like someone like you to say that feels really great. Um, I'm sorry. Go
And
ahead.
I also, the other thing I was going to say is, one of the things that I really like about your content also is that you can work through pieces of it in short periods of time. Like it's not all designed to have to be huge chunks of time that you have to put into it. And that's one of the things that I found in looking at some other people's programs and things that they have, is that that can be very problematic, because if it's going to take a large chunk of time to work on something, a lot of times it's just going to sit on the shelf for a while because there's just not enough time.
Yeah, I think that is a big part of it, is setting it up. So the course is designed in some ways as a companion to the mentoring, but they also, like, if you don't have a mentor, is to have it like in the actionable chunks, in the same sort of way. If somebody was on the fence and they were trying to decide if they were going to sign up for mentoring, what would you tell them?
Um, to decide to do mentoring with you, I definitely would say that for anybody who really wants to move their business forward and do it in a shorter time frame, the mentoring with you makes a huge difference. It's because I think that you're very good at intuitively helping figure out what it is that people need to work on and where they're getting themselves stuck. Also, where they don't have the confidence in certain areas, which makes it easy to kind of push those areas away. And so I think that it's a great investment. I think it's a wonderful investment in yourself.
And what about people who are on the fence about the course, just the course alone?
I think, like I said, I think all of your materials, as I've seen them in different iterations, are fantastic. And so I think that as courses go, the ones that I've seen and the ones that I've participated in, I think yours is one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, all right. So is there anything you wanted to tell me about your growth, your outcomes, this experience? And I just didn't ask you the right question.
I don't know about that. I think what's really cool to me is that what you're doing is helping other people who are helping other people. So, I mean, to me, it's that wonderful ripple effect of the fact that we're all kind of in what we do because we want to make people's lives better and we want to help people do the best and be as successful as they can be. And not that we don't want people to make money along the way. Yes, we absolutely want to make money, but it isn't the core reason that we do what we do. And I think that you really understand that. And so you can help people figure out how to do what they do best in helping others. And at the same time, being able to turn that into a career and turn that into a way of generating the income that they need for themselves.
That's awesome. Thank you.